What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next, got the second part of that CGC unboxing. I've got 13 more books. Again, I did not check the grades. We will get these books out, check the grades together, see how I did on this submission. Stay tuned. Alright, so before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. So, I've got 13 more books here. This is from that CGC Fast Track Economy submission. If you haven't watched another video yet, I recommend going and checking out that other video. A lot of fun books in there, some nice upside surprises on that one as well. Now, again, just kind of like a reminder on this one, this is 25 books. The grading cost, so if you're interested in the grading costs, was $47 per book after my 10% discount, and that's after shipping and everything like that. The pressing cost was about $33 per book, and that's because I paid for fast track pressing, so it costs a little bit more to get them fast tracked. All the books were pressed and cleaned by the comic book presser. I will put his details in the description of the video. I've been extremely happy with his work. This submission has had a lot of great books and some really nice grades in it, and a big part of that is getting those books pressed and cleaned beforehand, and he did all of these. So with that, got 13 books here. Let's get into these and see how we did. All right, that's the back. So the first one, what are we going to start with here? All right, let's start at a weird spot. This was not the book I was expecting to be there. So there are two of these in here, so I have no idea which one this is. This is Fantastic Four Annual Number 1. This is a very early Spider-Man appearance. It's an Origin of Submariner appearance. It's that first Fantastic Four annual. It's a pretty solid book, especially with all the rumor mill going around with Submariner. And so if we're going to see the prices in those books potentially climb if he shows up in the Black Panther movie or the next Wakanda Forever movie. His first Silver Age appearance in Fantastic Four number 4 is extremely expensive. Submariner number 1 has gotten really expensive. So going to that Origin is a great option for that character. Now, of the two books, I had one at a 3.5 and one at a 3.0. So they're going to be about the same grade. Let's see how this one did. 4.5. Nice. Whew, that is a nice grade for this one. I am really happy with that. That was probably the 3.5, I'm going to guess. But you know, there's a fair amount of spine wear, and kind of like some tearing up there. I mean, I'll say 4.5 seems a little generous, but I'm definitely not going to complain about it. So, but yeah, 4.5, Fantastic Four Annual Number 1. Then you've got on here early Spider-Man appearance, Origin of Submariner, first appearance of Lady Dorma and Krang. They are not major characters, pretty minor characters, but also got Doom there, which is always cool. So, all right, first one, nice start, 4.5 on Fantastic Four Annual Number 1. Let's see if this is the other one, or if we're just going to go back to the order that I was expecting these to be in. Nope, this is the other one. All right, so this one is probably the one that I had as a 3.0. Don't really need to talk about the book again. Let's see how we did. 4.0. Man, and white pages on that one. All right, Jake, I got a book for you. that's my buddy Jake with Spectales or Omega Red on Instagram, and he's huge into the white page copies. So yeah, man, 4.0, nice. So I mean, you can see it's got a fair amount of creasing and everything on the cover, which I hit it hard for. And this is why you get your books pressed and cleaned beforehand. They make the book look. It's absolute best for grading, and you have that better shot of getting a nicer grade on that book. And a 4.0 white pages, that's nice. When I was expecting a 3.0, I will take a full grade bump on that book. So that's really nice for that. All right, let's see where we're gonna go with the next one. What are you? Oh, okay, so this is Fantastic Four number 94. These are not in any order now. The first 12, they were almost all exactly in the order I was expecting. Now they're just randomly in here. So this is Fantastic Four, not 92, this is Fantastic Four number 94. This is the first appearance of Agatha Harkness. This is also the first time that Nathaniel Richards is named. It's like on the front, or the first splash page in this book. This book has been super hot. It's cooled off some, but heated up again when they had the announcement of the Agatha Harkness show that's going to be coming at some point on Disney+. Now, I had this one at a 7.5. It is a pretty nice presenting copy of this book. I was hoping the pressing could take care of some things that were going on it. Let's see how we did. 8.5. Nice. Pressing definitely took care of some things that were going on this one, because there was some light creasing and things over here, and really there's nothing there anymore. Just looks really, really nice. And so it's really just down to spine wear now. And so 8.5 is a nice surprise for that one. This one, it's definitely got a miscut on it. You know, it cuts off a lot of the top there. But, yep, very happy with this book. 8.5. Back cover looks really sharp. And, but yeah, again, I'll say it again. This is why you get your books pressed and clean beforehand. I knew there were some things on there that I thought looked like they could get taken care of, but I just wasn't quite sure, and so I hit it a little bit on the grade, and they got taken care of, and you get that 8.5, and it makes it that much more worthwhile for the submission, and when you're spending all that money to get your books pressed and cleaned and graded and everything, you know, it just makes it worthwhile for the submission. So always do it. I'll say it over and over again. Always do it. All right. Okay, so this is Fantastic Four number 52. And actually, you know, like from a distance, it looks like a pretty decent copy of this book, but there's like a tear that goes like all the way up to here on this one. This book, actually, when I had it at my house, I had it, I think, double or triple bagged, because the back cover, it's just like straight mold. You know, you've got this piece missing down here, but there's all this like black junk and, you know, kind of like just like mold on the back cover. And so I wanted this one in a case partially just to keep it away from other books, so it didn't potentially like pass something on to another book. But like I said, this one was a pretty low grade copy. I had it at a 1.0, but I honestly think it could pretty easily probably get like a 1.5, because it presents relatively well. It's got a lot of stuff going on. Oh, 0.5. They really hit it. Wow. This is one of those I should have sent to CBCS, because they never would give you a 0.5 for this book. But yeah, 0.5. I mean, yeah, it's missing some stuff up here. Well, I mean, look at this thing. It's not even. Oh, maybe it is detached. I don't remember. I thought it was. I don't remember it was detached. I'll have to check the grader's notes. If I remember to, I'll put a comment down here. Then that would definitely tell us if they have stopped putting those notes here, because, man, it's like. But seriously, like, look at this thing. It's rough. It's got some water damage and stuff on the back, but do you honestly think this book deserves a 0.5? This is what I've been talking about, where I really, really disagree with what CGC does with grading for the low grades. I don't talk about like disagreeing too often. Usually I am pretty much on par with what they say, but they're low grade grading. Putting a book like this that's complete, you know, missing a little piece out of the corner up here that actually presents this well, it's not missing the back cover or anything, you know, giving that a 0.5, honestly, I think that's a joke. But, you know, that's what I know you're getting with CGC, that you have that risk that they throw these books in a 0.5, but that book doesn't deserve to be a 0.5. That's pretty bad that they give that a 0.5. I'm a little upset about that one, because I really think that's ridiculous that that's a 0.5. All right. Now, this is Conan the Barbarian, number 1. This is also a really nice presenting copy. I talked about this book in another video where I've been seeing prices on this one come down because it had gone up with no real like news or hype or anything behind it. It's a cool book. It's the first appearance of Conan the Barbarian. It's also considered the Marvel book that started the Bronze Age. Now, this one, it's really nice, except it had a crease. Let's see how much it shows up still. Had a crease over here that was like kind of like this. Oh, but it doesn't really. You can see it a little bit. It's not showing up much. So I'm hoping the hoping the pressing took care of it pretty well. I had this one at a 7.5. Let's see how we did. 8.5. Yeah, I didn't think that crease was going to come out, and man, you can't see it. That's awesome. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was like basically like at this staple, it went out about 2 inches to here, and it's not there anymore. So yeah, I had graded it at that 7.5, thinking that crease wasn't going to be able to get fixed, and it definitely got fixed. And that looks nice. So yeah, 8.5. That is a nice surprise for this one. Yeah, prices have been coming down on the book some, but still, that is a nice copy of this. This is actually, I picked up this book from that same seller I talked about with the Green Lantern number 76, where it was just, this was another one that was 2 copies available, and that one I bought both of them. I ended up actually having to return one of them because that was the risk there. This top staple on the other one was just like completely torn out. It had a big tear on it. It was still attached, but it had a big tear on it. Because you'll notice with Conan number 1, a lot of them have this really weird staple where it's like bent out like this. And so if somebody read the book, it would often just like tear it really bad. And that one, the other one had that, but this one looked really nice. And so yeah, an 8.5 from that. Very happy with that. Nice copy of that book. All right. Yeah, get your books pressed. All right. Okay, so this is Captain America number 117. This is the first appearance of the Falcon. I actually picked this book up raw from Superworld Comics, like right before this show came out. This book was still super cheap then. It has come down a lot since the show, but look at the prices before the show. It's still way up from there. This one, I had it at a 5.5 to a 6. 6.5. Nice. Yeah, it just had some, generalized little bit of wear here and there on the spine and everything. Nothing huge. A little wear in the corners, some rounding in the corners, all that. But in general, a nice presenting copy of this book. Also has some foxing on the back cover, which, again, now I have learned that foxing is not hitting the grades as much as I thought it would. And has a cool little date stamp up there. So, yeah, 6.5, off-white to white pages, first appearance of Falcon. Happy with that. Can't complain. All right. Other than the Fantastic Four 52, I've generally been pretty happy with these. Man, I want to check, see if any of these ones are cracked. I don't think I see any cracks on these. All right. So let's see what we got next. Okay, this was the book that I was expecting to start this one off as, because I had finished all the B's except for one. I had this book left. This is a Golden Age comic. This is Boy Comics number 11. This is, it's just barely a Nazi war cover, because you've got the swastika on his chest there. This is a character named Ironjaw. It's also, you've got, the good girl art on the front, the woman in the red dress that's being carried off. And you've got Crime Buster, that's the name of this kid in the back here, up here, rushing in to try and save her. This book, this was one that the comic book presser, when he got this book, he posted it on his story, and he's like, well, it's going to be a long night cleaning this book, because there was a lot going on the cover, on the front and the back, to really clean it up and try to make it look its best. Now, you can see it was torn out at the staple here and reattached with tape, so it's not going to be a high-grade copy regardless. I had it as a 1.8. Let's see how we did. 2.0. All right, nice. Yeah, and then you can see tape on cover, and interior. Hey, so this one has the tape marker on there, and that's one of the things that was going to be removed with the new labels. So this one has not had that new label applied to it yet, so maybe they haven't applied the new labels yet. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten some mixed signals from the books I've opened in this unboxing so far. Like I had that Amazing Spider-Man 42 that only had one staple, and they didn't mark that on the label that it only had a single staple that is like a manufacturing defect. But 2.0, I'm happy with that. I mean, I was expecting a 1.8 to get a nice little, jump above that, and you know, it had all the tape and stuff, and the detached was, you know, basically a reattached cover with that tape. So yeah, just a cool Golden Age cover. There's some cool books from this Boy Comics run. I've shown a couple of them in the past, and this is one of them. All right, let's see what we got next. I think we might maybe this is Flash. Nope. All right. So this is Fantastic Four number 67. This is the other book from the collection that I bought that I decided to send in to get grading. I have a few others now that I'm thinking of maybe sending in, just because I've sold a lot of the books from that collection, and so I've got a few now that I think just might be worthwhile just to send in for fun. But this is the first cameo appearance of him or Adam Warlock. This is, you see him on the last page, basically coming out of the cocoon and, you know, causing all kinds of trouble. You don't see him again until Thor 165. It's actually a pretty nice presenting copy. I had this one at a 3.5 to a 4, but again, a lot of it was because of that foxing, and so I wouldn't be surprised if I get a little nicer grade. Let's see. Yeah, 5.0. Same thing. I mean, that's what I'm talking about now. I mean, it's not getting hit quite as hard for that foxing as I was expecting. So, and white pages again. That shed, it was keeping these books for whatever, the page quality in nice condition. And I said that, I remember when I did the video about that collection, when I was going through the books, I was like, man, a lot of these books are white pages. That was a lot of the Amazing Spider-Man books. The page quality looked really, really nice. And the two books that I've sent in, the Fantastic Four 67 and the Avengers 48, both white pages. So that's pretty cool. And yeah. And definitely a key for the future in the MCU, especially with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because we know the character that's playing Adam Warlock has been cast. I can't imagine they're only going to use that character in one movie. He's such a major character in the Marvel universe that I feel like they might go down the path of like the Magus or something like that, where they turn him into the villain eventually, and he becomes just a major villain in that universe. But we'll see what they end up doing with it. But yeah, 5.0, Fantastic Four 67, white pages too. Happy with that. All right, so move these books, this pile of books out of the way. I've got 5 left in the box. Let's see, what is this next one probably going to be? I don't know. We'll just find out together. All right, yeah, these are definitely in just no sense of order. So I was expecting this to be the last book, but this is Green Lantern number 87. This is the first appearance of John Stewart. When I bought this book, at first I thought this was like a super high grade copy. Now the main issue it had was it had a pretty large bindery tear up at the top up here. That's the one you could see, but then once you got the book in person and got it out of the bag, there was like a water stain like right here, and it was kind of like it rippled on the cover, and I was pretty sure that could be pressed out, but on the interior I would still expect the outline of that stain to be visible, and it was about the size of like a silver dollar, and so I felt like that was going to really limit the upside on this book. I had it as a 5.5 because of that, but it's such a nice presenting copy. Let's see how it did. Yeah, 7.0. Yeah, it really got taken care of then. I want to check the grader's notes on that one, because I'm really interested to see what they mark that as on down on the bottom there. So you can see at the top there's that just a really big bindery tear up here, and otherwise in general a really nice presenting copy of this book with very little to no spine wear, and you can't see the stain at all from the front anymore. It was right here, and it was basically this kind of like this silver dollar size like rippling that was on the front. And so I imagine that is probably the majority of the reason that this book got the grade it got. I really do want to look at the grader's notes for that one. I think that'll be a useful one for kind of like that grading knowledge. But yeah, back cover, super nice, really, really clean. I mean, if it didn't have that, I bet this book would have been like it probably could have hit the 9s, you know, even with that bindery tear. But I've had books like that before. I had a, what was it? Marvel Premiere 15, I think, first Iron Fist, that looked like a 9.2, it was between like a 9.0, 9.2 type book, but it had a stain about the size of a silver dollar down here, and it got a 7.0. So I wasn't sure how much that would get cleaned up, and it definitely got cleaned up really well. So 7.0, nice grade for that. About what I should probably expect with that amount of staining on there. But yeah, first appearance of John Stewart, and second appearance of Guy Gardner, which is also a big deal because he's potentially one of the main characters that's going to be in that upcoming HBO Max show. So let's see here. What we got? Speaking of which, I do have a 59 in here too, which is this one. All right, so this is the first appearance of Guy Gardner. This is also a pretty nice presenting copy. I had this one at a 5.5 to a 6. If you saw a recent unboxing I did, I got another raw copy of this one. I think this is a great book. It really reminds me, even though it's earlier, but it reminds me of Green Lantern 76, just the classic Neil Adams cover. So I had this one at a 5.5 to a 6. 6.5. Awesome. Yep, really happy with that. That is a nice book. And so, see here, it's such a stunning looking cover. I love these green covers, and there's really not a lot going on with it other than spine wear. You know, there's a little ding down here and a little bit of, little ding here, but just really nice presenting copy of this book. Yeah, a little ding at the top. And this is what I was talking about if you watched my top 10 video I did recently, where that Ghost Rider #1 that got a 6.0, it's like, compare this book to that book. That's why I was saying that book just looked so overgraded. Like it was like a 4.0, maybe a 4.5, and it got a 6.0. But like this is what you expect in the 6 range. Something where it's just a little bit of spine wear, a couple minor flaws, that kind of thing. It just adds up to that 6.0, 6.5 grade. But that Ghost Rider #1, man, that's one of the most overgraded books I've seen in a long time. All right, let's see what this one is. Oh, okay. All right. This is one of the other books that the comic book presser that he used in one of his stories, because this book looked crazy. If I can find the photo of the before and after that I made from what he made on the story, this book just was in ripples across the entire cover, like it had just been set in a humidifier or just out in, I don't know, just soaked in water almost. It is not a high grade copy. I mean, you can see all the, I don't know if that's mold or whatever it is on the cover. It's got rusty staples. It had all that. You can see the ripples still a little bit, but they're flattened out now. But they were basically actual ripples on the cover. But this is Green Lantern #1. I mean, it's the first issue of the Silver Age Hal Jordan series, and I had this one at a 1.8. I mean, again, not a high grade copy, but 1.5. All right, yeah, that's completely fine. I think I bought this from Heritage, and I think they had it as a 0.5. I mean, because yeah, it's got a lot of water damage to it, and it's in rough shape, but it's a 1.5. And this is kind of what I'm talking about with that Fantastic Four #52. This one probably has a similar amount of water damage as that one. It's got rusty staples, all that kind of stuff. And the only other thing that 52 really had was it had that chunk out of the corner up here and a tear. And they give it a 0.5 versus this that has a very similar amount of water damage to that book. But I don't know. 1.5, happy with that. Green Lantern #1. Now granted, I hate this cover. I've said that before. I don't like clowns. This clown creeps me out. I don't know how they do such an awesome cover for Showcase 22 and then have this for Green Lantern #1. The #1s for DC in the Silver Age, on average, are terrible. Like you've got Justice League #1, terrible. Green Lantern #1, terrible. Aquaman #1, terrible. I mean, they're just, I don't know. They did not have a great track record with their #1s in the Silver Age. The first appearances are always awesome. And so that's the thing. Like the first appearance covers are always great, but they could not do the #1s. All right, now here is a cover that I love. I absolutely love this cover. This is Flash #139. This is the first appearance of Professor Zoom, or the Reverse Flash. This is, I think, the nicest copy I've had of this book. It's not a super high grade copy. I had it at a 5.0, but it's just, this book is always got just tons of creases on the cover. It's got like tape pulls and everything going on, and it just always looks pretty crappy. And this one actually looked pretty nice. I picked this one up from Super World. Had it at a 5.0. Let's see how we did. 5.0. All right. And white pages. Awesome. White pages for early DC, 1963. I'm always really happy with that. But yeah, this is definitely the nicest copy I've had of this book. Prior to that, I think I've had like a 3.5, and then I've had a couple raw copies that were a little lower grade. But yeah, 5.0, a nice mid-grade copy of this one. I mean, that's hard enough to come by, I feel like. So it's got, you can see here, a little bit of corner wear there, a little bit of corner wear down there. Just, general edge wear, general spine wear, that kind of thing. But the thing I really liked about this copy was that it didn't have any big creases, because you've got these solid color backgrounds like the purple and the blue, and those creases just, they really stick out when you've got like a crease that it's either like a subscription crease or a big, slashing corner crease, something like that. But a book like this looks really sharp, especially for a 5.0. And white pages. We've got a number of white pages books in this submission. It's nice. All right, last book. What book haven't I gone over yet? Let's see. I don't know what this is. Oh, I know what this is. This is Fantastic Four Annual number 2. All right. Awesome Doom cover. This is the origin of Dr. Doom. This is... I had this one at a 3.0. I've actually been a little surprised on a couple of the annual grades so far. They've been higher grades than I was expecting, so I would love to get this one at a higher grade than a 3.0, because this is a book that just keeps getting more and more expensive. His first appearance in Fantastic Four number 5 is a super expensive book. His second appearance in number 6 is a really expensive book. This is his first real origin, and this book has been getting a lot more pricey. Like I said, I had this one at a 3.0, 3.5. All right, white pages again. Nice, Jake. I got another book for you. So I got a couple annuals, Jake, if you've got, if you're interested, because got the white pages on them. But yeah, happy about that. It's got a fair amount of spine wear. It's got that pretty typical, crease going along the spine here that you get with these annuals, because the annuals, they're stapled on the interior and then they're glued on the spine. These thicker books like this, and so if that glue bleeds in, you get some big reader creases. You often get spine splits. Let's see if I can show it. It's tough to see. Yeah, there we go. You often get spine splits like this. They're very common with these books, but in general, a pretty decent presenting copy of it. And a 3.5, I'm happy with that. I bought this book back in it was like early 2020. I think I bought it for like $75. That's how cheap this book was back then. Now I think it's like a $400 or $500 book in this grade. So, pretty happy. And the white pages, especially for, again, early Marvel, 1964. Nice. So finished with a couple white page books on this one. Really happy with that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe help with grading, some little things like that. The big things I picked up from the grading in this video, or in this unboxing in general, has been they are not hitting foxing very hard. And so I've been getting nice upside surprises on books where I was hitting them for foxing, because I generally treat it like tanning with my grading. And moving forward, at least for the time being, I'm going to be hitting books with foxing a little less than I had been. Remember, spine splits, be really cautious with them. They are just hammering grades for spine splits. So, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. I've got more videos over here if you'd like to watch some of my other videos, and the subscription button right here. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.